Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I'm your host, Mark Francis. Prince Harry was hurried out of a court on Wednesday during a hearing into his security arrangements, following an outburst from a member of the public. The Duke of Sussex appeared at the Court of Appeal to challenge the dismissal of his claim against the Home Office. That claim concerns a decision made by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, known as RAVEC, that he should receive a different degree of protection when in the United Kingdom. Parts of the hearing were held in private without members of the press or public. Shortly after the courtroom was cleared, a woman shouted, "I support you, Prince Harry," as the Duke left the room. She then added, "If you're members of the press, you're the reason he's no longer in England." Prince Harry was briefly removed from the courtroom following the incident. It's understood that after the woman had departed, he returned for the private portion of proceedings. Earlier, the Duke had arrived at the Royal Courts of Justice for the second day of the hearing. During the public part of the session, he was seen conferring quietly with his legal team and making notes. The Guardian gave Meghan's new podcast 2.5 stars, saying, "The Duchess of Sussex fawns over entrepreneur guests and delivers overwrought messages to listeners, while claiming her lifestyle brand is an extension of my essence. It's a bit much." Rachel Aracetti writes, "Remember the girl boss? She burst into the zeitgeist in the 2010s, riding the era's nebulous wave of female empowerment and proving that women could become incredibly rich by helming capitalist empires just like men. Branding-wise, she had some issues, beginning with that infantile moniker and peaking with a series of toxic workplace scandals. This, combined with the fact that celebrating corporate greed took an even more nauseating hue post-pandemic, means we haven't heard from her for quite a while. Yet this new podcast from Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is alive with the spirit of the girl boss. Meghan is a decent interviewer, especially compared with some celebrity podcasters. She keeps the conversation on track and is conscientious with her follow-up questions. Yet even when her guests do open up, here Wolf Hurd discusses the terrifying press attention that accompanied her decision to file a lawsuit against her former employer, Tinder, for sexual harassment. Meghan very rarely reciprocates. You can understand why she's guarded, but the problem is that personal disclosure fuels parasocial relationships, which are podcasting's primary draw. The Spectator was even less kind under the headline, "Meghan Markle's new podcast is just toe-curling and unsubtle dross." Alexander Larman writes, "Somehow incredibly, Meghan manages to make it all about herself all over again. Under any normal circumstances, one would feel deeply sorry for her revelation that she has suffered from the painful and frightening condition postpartum preeclampsia, but here it is simply served up as yet another titbit, another revelation that will strengthen her vulnerable yet indomitable qualities and allow her most ardent admirers to flock behind her in the process." There are uplifting slogans, mutual love-ins, toe-curling references to getting sedately sloshed on rosé, and of course, unsubtle plugs for Meghan's new lifestyle brand as ever, which is described without any apparent irony as an extension of my essence. For those of us who thought that it was a collection of overpriced preserves and honey, the knowledge that Meghan's essence can be captured and sold in a jar at a shopping mall, not all that near you, will be a salutary one indeed. Confessions of a Female Founder suffers mostly from its presenter not being terribly good when it comes to the format, as with Archetypes, which was rumoured to have had substantial post-production editing and tampering. The back and forth between Meghan and Wolf Hurd never feels natural or spontaneous. Instead, amid the backslapping, there is a frustrating lack of curiosity about the nuts and bolts of entrepreneurship, which means that if anyone had serious interest in how to launch a successful business without being married either to a member of the royal family or an oil billionaire, this would be an unrewarding 45-minute listen. The timing of its release, however, has been unfortunate. 2025 was supposed to be Meghan's year to shine, hence the Netflix show, the brand launch, and now the podcast. Yet, as her husband appears at the High Court this week in an attempt to force the government to allow him to hire the country's police force as his private security for his family if they deign to return to Britain, and the Centre-Bali hoo-ha shows no sign of disappearing after the company's referral to the Charity Commission for a regulatory compliance case. She might be forgiven for feeling that her hard work in self-promotion has been overshadowed by other, rather more significant events. Meghan's podcast was sitting at number 5 on the overall charts when we last checked, thanks in part to Apple Podcasts app giving it the top promotional spot. Some consumers had a disappointing experience with As Ever. An email from the company explains, the excitement created a volume of traffic on the site that even we couldn't have anticipated. The orders were happening so quickly that the back end on the site didn't have a chance to keep up. The limited edition honey that you purchased was, unfortunately, already sold out. We are working on replenishing inventory and will gladly send you an item of your choosing to thank you for your understanding. While we appreciate that Meghan is replenishing the inventory, it does beg the question, then, as to just how limited the limited edition honey actually will be. The note also included a personal message from Harry's Honey. Dear friend, Meghan began to convey just how close you two are. My goodness, what a whirlwind this week has been. Thank you so much for the support. It really means so much to me. I was sorry to hear about what happened with your order and that due to overselling, we are not able to get you the limited edition honey. Please know that the team worked very hard in every department and felt just as sad when we learned what had happened. Fortunately, more honey is on the way. No need to order. It will come to you in the mail as a gift from me. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Ever notice how the villains often steal the show? All this week, 5 daily trivia questions celebrates these scene stealers with a special Villains Week event. Host Mark Allison will take you on a journey through the fascinating world of antagonists, from the methodical Hannibal Lecter to the magical Maleficent, the calculating Moriarty to the chaotic Joker. Each day brings 5 new questions about the characters that push our heroes to their limits and sometimes make us question which side we're really on. Whether you're a pop culture expert or just appreciate a good antagonist, Villains Week offers something for everyone. It's the perfect blend of entertainment and education that 5 daily trivia questions is known for. Villains Week on 5 daily trivia questions available wherever you get your podcasts, like this one, because sometimes it's good to be bad. King Charles has become the first British monarch to address both houses of the Italian Parliament, delivering a speech in Rome on the 3rd day of his state visit. In a wide-ranging address, the king warned that democracies such as the United Kingdom and Italy must stand together in troubled international times and spoke of the shared values that underpin their partnership. Peace is never to be taken for granted, said the king, highlighting the importance of continued support for Ukraine. He noted that we are both European countries and praised the unity shown as the UK and Italy stood by Ukraine in her hour of need. He also observed that young people today are witnessing the realities of war in real time through their smartphones and tablets. The king received a lengthy standing ovation from Italian lawmakers gathered in the Palazzo Montecitorio, the ornately decorated seat of the lower house of Parliament. At one point, the applause was so prolonged that an Italian official mistakenly began his own remarks, thinking the speech had ended. Parts of the address were delivered in Italian, with the king reflecting on the deep historical ties between the two nations, from the Romans landing on Britain's windswept shores to modern British musicians like Ed Sheeran performing in Italy. He described a bond that is cultural as well as political. Italy is a country dear to my heart, the king said. He also took time to honour the contribution of Commonwealth forces, particularly Canadian troops, in helping to liberate Italy during the Second World War. The state visit coincides with the King and Queen's 20th wedding anniversary. Queen Camilla joined her husband at Parliament wearing the same ivory silk dress from their 2005 wedding day, repurposed for the occasion. Earlier, during a visit to a school in Rome, she was presented with a margarita pizza in honour of the anniversary. Back in London, the anniversary was marked with a musical tribute at Buckingham Palace, where the Guards performed a brass rendition of Madness's It Must Be Love. And there you have it. Please email us. Our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us at Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a review of 5 stars if you're enjoying the show. Don't forget you can get this show, along with hundreds of others from Calaroga Shark Media, for $5 a month, commercial free, and there's romance and comedy and trivia and spirituality and all sorts of different types of programming there. Check it out. It's all in the show notes. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.